Let's Woody Akademiks and check it out. So listen, Joseph Budden these days, man, not much of a rapper, more of a social commentator personality these days, and it's kind of sad when a rapper makes usually the news for everything but his music. It's kind of sad. Now, he's kind of stuck in between being a social commentator, especially on Twitter, and being a fucking rapper. What's going to be more successful for Joseph Budden at this point in his career? He's only 34. But the new generation of fans, they don't really see him fitting in with what they like or what's popular, okay? In reality, most fans, and I'm not saying all, most fans see him as a fucking joke, a reality show star, a woman beater, and a flat-out Twitter comedian. I think he's a dope musician when he actually puts out music, though. That's few and far in between. Now, not everybody likes him, okay? He hasn't really had tremendous mainstream success, arguably, since Pump It Up. I mean, he had the Put It Down joint with Tank and Lil Wayne. I really like that joint. But ever since really Pump It Up, he's really been trying to pump his career back up. But nevertheless, he has earned one title that I think, hands down, you gotta give it to him, okay? He's the Gucci Man of Instagram hoes, okay? He's put on more Instagram hoes into the game than Gucci Man has actually put on rappers. To some extent, you could just say he's the guru of bad bitches, okay? Now, because of this, it might have got to his head because he offered his take, because he's a social commentator as well, right? He offered his take on another rapper, and this is where I always say you fucked up. You never talk about people in the same field as you, okay? Me, I'm not going to talk about other people that's doing social commentary or who are radio personalities, because to me, the fans is always going to do the talking. Now, Joe Budden offered his opinion on Meek Mill and how Meek Mill was dealing with Nicki Minaj. If you don't know, they're in a relationship. Now, he pretty much gave a disclaimer saying kind of like, I ain't hating, but you know what usually follows that. But the actual quote, what he says this. He says, Meek Mill's music is too hard for me to look at him with this sappy fuck shit. Be the hardcore guy that I'm sure she was once attracted to at some point. Now, basically, what he's saying is that Meek Mill is simping, out here strung out, and he wants him to be hardcore. Now, it's a little bit confusing because we got to define the standards of what being hardcore is for Joe Budden. Joe Budden's the same guy that has been accused of giving 3 chicks a severe case of the lumps. Is that hardcore? Beating chicks up? Now, he was recently wanted by the police, and yeah, he was on Twitter, obviously laughing at those particular allegations. We don't know if it's true or not. Now, not only that, right? It was also fine and there was no issue when he was telling a story on The Breakfast Club about being so strung out over fucking Tahiri. We're not talking about Nicki Minaj, we're talking about Tahiri. That he broke into her house, hid under her bed, just to make sure that when she came home from the club, she wasn't coming home with another dude to fuck. That was fine because that was him doing it, right? It was even fine when he got down on one knee on VH1, proposed to Tahiri live, and then got turned down in the middle of Times Square. That was fine, okay? That's all fine and dandy. Even now, he's back with his ex on couples therapy. That's still fine. He still feels he could give advice on women, right? But the problem, at least, or what he wanted to say is that what he see Meek Mill doing, he wants Meek Mill to be hardcore. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This type of inconsistency, okay, is the reason why I suggest don't comment on other people within your own field. If this was a fan that made those comments, nobody would have a problem with it. Meek Mill would probably take it on the cheek. That's what it is. You being a rapper, knowing your career isn't at where Meek Mill's career is at, is going to come off like fucking hate, even if you meant it with no hate. So that's just what it is. Meek's hot, Joe is not, okay? Now, both of you guys are rappers. Now, let me tell you what Meek Mill actually responded, because he responded on Twitter, because he probably got a lot of people tweeting him and Instagram in the actual audio, and this is what he said, because somebody said, why Joe Budden talking nonsense about Meek Mill? He responded, he said, he sound mad. He a noodle, though, LOL. Then he said, I don't want your opinion if you don't got shit. That's actually a rhyme, but he's still talking about Joe Budden. He says, rap money slowing up. Guess it's loving hip-hop. No Philippe's for your shorty. Take her to Wingstop. J.R. Smith spot. Damn, that is, J.R. Smith did fuck Tahiri, donkey fucker, while I believe Joe Budden was crying over her. Something like that. Anyway, Meek Mill then continues. He says, and I brung Joe Budden out to my sold-out show in New York City. It was a funeral when he got on the mic. Stop it, old hating noodle. Okay, I guess noodle is a new nickname. He then also says, your new name is Ramen. Put him in a bathroom. I don't get that one, but that's what he said. Now, pretty much Joe Budden did jump in, did respond. He directly tweeted at Meek Mill, which I'll give him some credit for. He said, number one, I think you've taken some things out of context. I didn't diss you. Number two, you don't rap well enough to go this route with me. Y'all gonna get that boy chewed. Now, Meek Mill says, listen, I just get money, remain chill, stay fly, and be putting my day ones on. You type of guys can't deal with me on no levels. I'm out, okay? And he also said, y'all guys talk about other men too much. Don't let my album do good. I'm going to change all that and expose how lame y'all dudes really are, okay? Then he also said, listen, let me catch myself. I'm tripping. Didn't Anthony Davis get that? Okay, he just changed the subject. Then basically he came back saying, chewed, double pause. It's kind of moist because everything's on Twitter, okay? He then even said, Barbz, get him. I'm like, huh? Then he also said, joking, but it ain't that boy level to be commenting on the way I handle my lady. Y'all gotta have a chill button when you speak on the trill. Now, Nicki Minaj also joined in, basically clowned Joe Budden a little bit more, but one of the comments she did make is that, hey, why would you be bothered by another man showing love to his girl? Let's celebrate black love. All the best with your podcast, all jokes aside. And then basically Joe Budden said, I love the bars, by the way. Safari ain't even backed me up last night. Now, let me just say this, because I gotta agree with Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj. Now, I will say this, like, Meek Mill could be corny at times, and there is no denying that, okay, but everybody can. And after seeing how they kind of went in on Joe Budden and how they kind of used their fans and blah, 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 like, Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj are two people that deserve each other in a good way. But still, because their personality matches, okay, on how they react and how they deal with things like this, okay? Joe Budden, he wasn't trying to engage like this. But, of course, Meek Mill will, of course, roast you on Twitter, just like Nicki. But here's my thing. I got to agree with Meek Mill, just for the simple fact that, man, we're not talking about a random bitch, man. I think that's where Joe Budden gets it fucked up, man. We're not talking about just Meek Mill simping over a random Instagram model. Whatever, if you don't like their relationship, that's whatever, but listen, that's his girl. And if they're displaying PDA, I could care less. You know what I mean? Like, does it affect my perception of him as a rapper? I mean, I guess it might overall affect it, but I can't tell him what to do with his woman. You get me? Now, a lot of people think that relationship is fake. Now, if it's fake, we will eventually see. Time will tell. It'll fall apart. Somebody will come out talking shit, and we'll figure out if it's fake. But from what I see, it looks like they like each other. They're in love. Let them rock. I think Joe Budden was wilding because, listen, Joe Budden might be accused of beating women, so he might have a hardcore stance with women, but you can't tell another man how to handle his chick. And I agree with Meek Mill with that. Now, as far as the Twitter shit, I don't know about that. I see people talking about rap beef. This is not a rap beef. This is not a fucking rap beef. You told a man how to deal with this woman. He told you, fuck out of here, and that's why you're not hot. What's the problem? Why are we talking about rap? There's nothing rap about this. You spoke on another man's relationship. That's his girl. That's not his bitch. That's his girl. You know what I mean? So he says something back to you. His girl says something back to you. If you don't like it, dog, and that's what I'm saying, yo, he just has to apologize to just ignore it and keep it moving. Pretty much, okay? As I said, that's why you don't comment on other people that's doing the same thing you're doing. That's just what it is, okay? Now, it's your boy, Akademiks. What do you guys think about this, man? It's extremely moist, but there's not going to be a rap beef. Stop talking about who raps better. Why would Meek Mill rap battle with Joe Budden at this point in his career? No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, okay? And also, just a note to everybody, when a rapper's album comes out, you can't beef with him or you can't get into any type of public war words with the guy during that particular week. He got all the buzz. The nigga got all the juice. You can't. So what do you guys think about this, man? Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like. Definitely subscribe to your boy, Akademiks. I'm out.